This is Mary Egbert from Kamaj Handspun Yarn, and today I'm going to show you how to ice dye wool top. What you see in front of you is part of my skirting table, or a table that my husband made to dry dryer balls. And underneath it I have a small plastic bucket, and it's between the two layers because I'm going to put the top on top of that, on top of this one here. And then I have my dyes. Alright, so I'm going to go get my wool top and I'll show you how it's done. So today is a perfect day to do this because it is hot in this Florida sun. Alright, I put the top, which I soaked in cold water with vinegar, and I put it on the top of this like skirting table with that basket underneath it. So it catches the dye, but it's on the grass, so if any dye gets on the grass, it's not a big deal. I probably wouldn't do this inside my house because my husband would kill me. Alright, so we're going to put the ice on top of the fiber. And I rinsed it, or I soaked it in cold water, so there's not a big variation of temperatures between the ice and the top. All right, so I'm going to take the dye. Make sure and wear your mask because this is flying all over the place. So just going to put the dye on top of the ice. And a little yellow. And the ice is going to be a medium for the dye. So as the ice melts, it will go into the fiber. I'm not really measuring, I'm just tapping it on. Alright, well, we'll just let that sit and melt in the sun, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so all the ice melted. That's what we got left. I think I'll rinse it. I might steam it. I don't know. We'll see. There it is. There's the box with all the dirty water in it. Alright, let's check this out. Alright, so I decided I was going to steam it first. So I'm steaming it, I'm simmering it for a half hour. I wrapped it in plastic, kind of like a jelly roll, just kind of the way it was. And I'm going to let it cool after 30 minutes in the pot. And then we'll unwrap it, rinse it, and I'll show you what we got. Finished fiber after it got done drying, and it's kind of reminds me of a Monet painting. It's very mottled and kind of neat with the different colors. Came out a little bit more on the pastel-y side. It's not very saturated in color, but it looks like it went all the way through the fiber. Like I don't see any like real white areas through, so it's kind of interesting. Alright, so I'll get this spun up and we'll show you how it looks. So this is the yarn after my ice dyeing experiment. It's really pretty. It's very pale. It almost looks like watercolors. It reminds me of like a Monet picture, which is really kind of neat. It's very soft, but I used a very good quality wool top for this. When I spun it and drafted it, it was a little bit difficult to draft, just a little bit. And some of the recommendations I would suggest to do for the next time, when I soak my fiber in water and the vinegar before dyeing it, put some ice cubes in the water, make sure it's extra cold, so when you put the ice on top of the fiber, it's not shocking it doesn't felt it a little bit. I would also recommend that if you're putting it in the sun, let the ice melt completely and let the temperature of the fiber get warm. The warmer the better. You can try to steam it. The difference between the temperature in the sun and the steaming may be a difference, but just make sure it's gradual and you're not shocking it. Also, I wouldn't squeeze it out as much, like after the first soaking. Keep it kind of soaking wet. So the dye kind of gets through the fiber. And the dye did go through the fiber all the way. I didn't really see a lot of white spots. So it's just another option to dye your fiber. It's really kind of fun to do. And yeah, so try something different. Hey, thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.